From the very beginning of the night, there was a sense that something historic was about to happen. The cameras kept turning toward Beyoncé. The energy in the room kept shifting whenever her name was mentioned, and the audience seemed to know they were witnessing a milestone in music history. Let me say this right now, watch till the end, because only then you'll understand the full scope of how this single night didn't just belong to Beyoncé. It rewrote the story of the Grammys and the way country music itself is remembered. As the categories began rolling out, one by one, Beyoncé's name echoed again and again. Every announcement seemed like a drumbeat building towards something bigger. First came the surprise win that turned heads. Beyoncé claiming a space in a category where country music usually stood on its own. The shock was immediate. Commentators whispered, audiences gasped, and yet it felt inevitable. The next awards only intensified the moment. Each time her name was called, the room erupted, but it wasn't just about her victories. It was about the barriers quietly breaking in real time. By the time she walked on stage for her third award of the night, the narrative was clear. This wasn't an ordinary sweep. This was a cross-genre revolution, a night where the lines between R&B, pop, and country blurred so dramatically that people knew history was being written right in front of them. The applause grew louder, the tension heavier, and the excitement undeniable. Everyone inside that hall realized they were not only celebrating Beyoncé, they were witnessing a cultural shift that future artists would look back on. And yet, the biggest twist of the night was still waiting. The twist came when Beyoncé's name was called in a category that had traditionally been dominated by country legends. This was the kind of space where artists like Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, and George Strait once reigned supreme. For decades, country music was seen as its own guarded territory, resistant to outside influence. But on this night, Beyoncé didn't just step into that world. She took center stage and claimed it as her own. The shockwave was instant. Some cheered, some questioned, but everyone agreed. The Grammys had just turned a page that could never be turned back. When Beyoncé walked up to accept that award, there was no hesitation in her voice, only pride. She spoke about music as a universal language, one that doesn't belong to any single genre, and the way she said it made the audience fall silent. In that moment, the award stopped being about categories and started being about connection. Her win was proof that music could transcend boundaries, and the industry had to evolve whether it was ready or not. Social media lit up instantly. Hashtags celebrating Beyoncé's win trended worldwide. Memes, reactions, and live discussions flooded every platform, and suddenly, it felt like the entire globe was part of that Grammy moment. Critics pointed out the historical significance. Fans called it overdue recognition, and artists across different genres congratulated her for smashing a glass ceiling that had stood for far too long. But the deeper meaning went beyond trophies or trending hashtags. This was about representation, about seeing an artist known for breaking records and redefining pop culture now step into another lane and dominate it with the same unstoppable energy. For country music, the message was clear. Its story could no longer be written without acknowledging her place in it. As the night unfolded, what made Beyoncé's sweep so powerful wasn't just the awards themselves, it was the symbolism behind them. For decades, country music had been viewed as a genre locked in tradition, rarely opening its doors to voices from outside its established circle. Yet here was Beyoncé, not only stepping into that circle, but reshaping it in real time. The audience could feel the weight of it, and that's why the energy inside the hall kept intensifying with every announcement. This wasn't simply history being made, it was history being rewritten. Every camera angle told a story. You could see the mixture of awe, admiration, and disbelief on the faces of industry veterans who had attended countless Grammy nights, but had never seen one like this. With each victory, the applause grew louder, and the conversation shifted further away from surprise to inevitability. It was as if the industry itself was finally catching up to what fans around the world had known for years. Beyoncé's artistry was not confined to genre, and her talent had the power to redefine any space she entered. The defining moment came when the scoreboard of the night revealed she had officially broken records. Not just in R&B or pop categories, but across the spectrum of music. That was the point when whispers turned into declarations. Commentators began calling it a seismic shift, Critics labeled it the night country music opened its doors, and fans described it as the Beyoncé effect. Still, the most captivating part of the sweep was that it never felt forced. Beyoncé didn't come to take from country music. She came to expand it, to show that its emotional storytelling could resonate far beyond its traditional roots. And in doing so, she left both fans and critics wondering what could possibly come next. By the time the final stretch of the ceremony arrived, it was no longer just about the trophies. It was about the atmosphere, the cultural ripples spreading out from the stage. Every acceptance speech, every standing ovation, every shot of the audience told a bigger story. Beyoncé wasn't just collecting awards, she was dismantling invisible walls that had separated genres for decades. And the brilliance of it all was how effortlessly she carried that responsibility, as if she knew this night was never going to be forgotten. When the cameras zoomed in during her last big win of the evening, the applause seemed endless. Legends in the industry rose to their feet. Younger artists screamed with joy, and viewers at home could sense they were watching something more than a Grammy victory. They were watching a generational shift unfold live. For country music, this moment wasn't about losing its identity, but about gaining a wider horizon. It was proof that the roots of the genre could stretch further than anyone had imagined. And then came the emotional twist. Fans of country music who initially expressed skepticism found themselves applauding too. It wasn't about categories anymore. It was about connection. Beyoncé had taken the raw storytelling essence of country and merged it with her own artistry, creating a blend that felt both authentic and revolutionary. The shock turned into admiration, and admiration turned into acceptance. The conversations outside the arena captured the true magnitude. Headlines the next morning didn't just read, "Beyoncé wins big." They declared her triumph as history-making, groundbreaking, and culture-shifting. Her sweep became a moment where boundaries blurred, divisions softened, and the Grammys became more than an award show. They became a stage where the future of music was unveiled. Looking back at that night, it's impossible not to call it legendary. Beyoncé's Grammy sweep wasn't just about winning multiple awards. It was about rewriting what the Grammys could represent. From the very first announcement to the last standing ovation, there was a steady build-up of suspense, emotion, and awe. This was the kind of night where viewers kept telling themselves, "I have to watch until the end," because only then would the full picture come together. And by the time it did, it was clear, Beyoncé hadn't just won awards, she had shifted the course of music history. The impact was immediate. In the days that followed, critics dissected every moment of the ceremony. Fans replayed her acceptance speeches, and artists across all genres acknowledged the weight of her achievement. It wasn't just about a pop icon entering a country category. It was about dismantling long-standing barriers and proving that music thrives when boundaries disappear. The sweep became a symbol, one that reminded the world that storytelling in music belongs to everyone, no matter what genre label it carries. What made it unforgettable was the way Beyoncé carried herself through it all. There was no arrogance, only gratitude. She spoke about unity, about music's power to bring people together, and in doing so, she left audiences with more than just a memory of trophies. She left them with a message. That message was clear. The future of music is limitless, and its most powerful moments happen when walls fall and creativity takes center stage. And so, Beyoncé's Grammy night wasn't just a milestone for her career, it was a milestone for the entire industry. A night where the world didn't just see a superstar, they saw a cultural force reshaping the narrative of music itself.